Welcome, folks. Welcome back to the Wilson Combat YouTube channel and another episode of Gun Guys. Today, I've got my buddy Ken Hackathorn here. We're out at his beautiful place in Idaho. It is so nice to be away from 100+ degree weather in Texas and be out here in Idaho where it's 75 degrees and no humidity. I mean, it's just great. Ken's been a great host to us. And today we're going to talk about what our personal carry guns are. I mean, you know, let's face it, Ken, through the years, this evolves. I mean, you know, what we carried maybe a year ago is different than what we carry today, and maybe a year from now might be different. But, you know, let's discuss what we carry today.
Right now.
Right now.
What do you got? What's your pick?
Okay, what I've got, and you'll see from all the holster wear and everything, that it's an honest-to-God daily carry gun. That's one of our FX9s, 10-round version with a 3 1/4 inch barrel. And I carry it with a 10-round mag with the little pinky thing there, so you know I still get a full firing grip, grip on the gun, and carry it with the
15 is a spare.
Yeah, I carry a 15-round mag as my backup mag. Carry it with the Lehigh Defense Xtreme Defense ammo there.
And you're obviously impressed with it, or you wouldn't have bought the company. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people I know that ask me about it, still a lot of people have a lot of questions about, does this stuff do what it's supposed to do? And I tell people, you've shot a lot of hogs. Most people don't realize, size-wise and muscle tissue-wise, it's very similar to a human being, mm-hmm. as far as the lung, space, heart, stuff. And I guess the big question is, what's your read on what these things do in real flesh?
Well, they do a good job, but the real claim to fame about either the extreme defense or the extreme penetrator is the fact that barriers doesn't really affect them. You can shoot through the typical test medium of 4 layers of denim, you know, into your gel. You can shoot through a windshield. You can shoot through, you know, the portion of a car door that doesn't have a brace, and the bullet goes into the gel and does exactly the same thing. Cool. You know, where if you're shooting a conventional hollow point, a lot of times, if it goes through the denim, it clogs up the hollow point, and it acts like a full metal jacket bullet. It never expands. And sometimes with a hollow point going through like a car door or whatever, they turn into all kinds of weird shaped things.
Yeah, I know through autoglass, a lot of hollow points just basically come apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's the main thing is you get the same performance whether you shoot into straight into the gel, or if you shoot through almost any kind of barrier that we've tested, the bullet does the same thing.
Cool. I'm going to guess that business-wise, this bullet's picking up pretty good for you.
Oh yeah, that's the 9mm 90 grain. That's our highest volume, you know, projectile of the entire product line.
What kind of holster you got?
This is one of our Wilson Combat Rapid Response, and it's designed for basically a vertical carry at the point of the hip. You know, the way we both carry.
Kind of a straight up and down.
Straight up and down. No, neutral cant, I guess you'd call it. Real comfortable package to carry. Full disclosure here, I mean, I was carrying the 15-round 4-inch version of this gun until I started having all these hip issues and everything, and then I started to, I need to take some weight off, you know, not that I don't need to take weight off everywhere, but off of my pressure on my hip.
Yeah.
And so I switched to the slightly smaller, lighter, you know, model, and found I could shoot this gun almost as well, because my intention was to carry this until I got my hip replacement and, you know, kind of got healed up from that, and I was going to go back to carry my, you know, 15-round 4-inch, but I don't know that I will. I'm really happy with that gun, and I've finished off some wounded hogs with it and did some stuff that, you know, kill a lot of snakes with it, and I mean, it gets the job done, so kind of like, why carry anything that's a whole lot bigger? I
remember when you first handed me one of these down the ranch to shoot it was still kind of in a prototype basis. And I looked at the gun, I'll be honest with you, I was like, oh, what, another pocket rocket. And I shot it, and I was astounded how well it shot. I mean, it is an accurate little gun.
Yeah.
And obviously you guys, when you engineered the gun, besides obviously advantaged the magazine capacity, and let's face it, you took a proven magazine and built a gun around it. But feeding reliable, it's functional reliable. I consider this probably one of the most reliable 1911 pattern guns that's ever been made. and with the capacity. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think our X9 series is as reliable as any action type on the market.
Yeah.
And you're just talking about the 3 1/4 inch being accurate and all that stuff. Actually, one of our very best selling models is that top end with the 15 round frame.
Wow.
Yeah, the 15 round 3 1/4 inch is actually an extremely popular model.
Well,
So it sells better than the 10 round with a 3 1/4 inch.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's a cool package. And again, we've talked about how things evolve and change. I'm like you. I carry different guns as time goes on. Sometimes I don't expect them to be what I want. And I'll be honest with you, I sometimes will carry a gun for 6 months or so. I think I'll carry something else because I enjoy, I'm a gun guy. But you're interested, our tastes do change.
Yeah.
And there was a time, everybody always wanted, the goal was a 1911 trigger and sights and controls, but a capacity and size of a Glock 19. That was kind of the search. Well, you guys X9 kind of took care of that. And that's pretty impressive. Now, the gun that I've been carrying for about the last, probably 6 months or so, this is an all steel Wilson Combat. In essence, would be equivalent to what we used to be a Combat Commander. It's a commander length gun, 9mm. And what I asked, you and I talked about this some time back about, we both were big Swenson fans, and Armand Swenson certainly was a positive influence on you in the early days. And we talked about, boy, it'd be cool to make a Swenson tribute gun. But like you said, you guys are so far behind and you got so many irons in the fire. Going out and doing something like a specialty product was just not in the cards right now. So I eventually, I thought, I'm going to pursue that. So I procured a frame because I wanted a square trigger guard. I bought this from an outside vendor, send it to you guys. And most people realize you guys still do custom pistol work as far as you can send in a gun. Although I'm going to guess your backlog has had an effect on that business now as far as being able to keep up.
We kind of got different guys working on those than are building.
Anyway, I don't know who did the work on the gun, but I sent it down. I said, most Swenson guns we know are hard chrome. Well, I said, can you do the stainless to look like hard chrome? And you can see this vapor blast finish. It looks like, most people think it's a hard chrome gun. And I said, I kind of want the gun to be an updated Wilson clone of a Swenson gun. For example, your ambi safety is far better than Armand's safety ever was. So I said, put me a bulletproof ambi on it because that's a Swenson touch, even though I'm not an ambi fan. And classic gold bead front sight, and of course your battle rear sight. Anyway, the guys built the gun up. I said, put a Hackathorn special slide on it. And I put a pair of VZ. First I had wood grips on it, Wilson wood grips on it. To be honest with you, I needed a little bit more adhesion, and it's got the bulletproof mag well, and I carry, of course, with your magazines, I get 10+1. And the ammo I'm using is the Hordney 135 grain critical duty, and it feeds great. And it's a good performer. A lot of agencies and the FBI, for example, have adopted it's a good round. But I am quite interested in the future of the Lehigh bullet, and I'm probably going to try some down the road. But anyway, kind of a traditional gun you might even say kind of a retro gun approach. But the guys, by the way, did a magnificent job on that gun for me. I'm really pleased with it. Shoots good. There's no downside to it. So that's my current carry gun. Now you may come back here in 2 or 3 months and guess what? It'll be another gun. But right now, and that's one I've carried for probably the last 6 months. I mean, every day. I'm like you. I get up in the morning, I put the gun on. When I go to bed at night, it comes off and goes on the dresser. And I tell people, when you carry guns, they look like it. I'm always amazed the guys will show, somewhere online on the internet of their carry guns, and they look brand new. What's that tell you? Probably don't get carried very much. Probably get carried in the gun safe.
Look at this one here. I mean, you can tell there.
It's got
it's been carried.
Look at the edge of the magazine.
You can tell with a spare magazine. I mean, it's all.
And the beauty of this gun being the stainless, it doesn't show much wear. I mean, that's kind of one of the beauties of it. But
you may get a little bit of shiny areas on the edges, but that'll be about it.
And I typically carry my guns. I've always been 1911s to mine belong in leather holsters. Doesn't mean I haven't used Kydex, but to me, Kydex belongs on plastic guns, and I've always been a Mel Sparks fan.
Yeah.
And a number of years ago, I went to this, what they call the 1AT-RT. It's my buddy Rick Touche had him design this holster, and it's more of a molded design and much less of a cant. And all the guns I carry and use now, I use this pattern holster. You can see this one's been worn a little bit.
Yeah.
And this is my everyday gun.
Yeah, I've had Sparks make me a couple of them with no cant to it.
Yeah.
I think that's got like a 5-degree cant.
Yeah.
I didn't make them for me with a zero, neutral cant.
And I think one of the things we all find annoying now is so many, like the blue jeans stuff, they put the belt loop right at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right where you want your gun to be. So anyway, this holster system has worked for me. I've been using this version of holster for probably, goodness.
Ever since I've known you, you've basically carried a
that's
holster
what I've
like
used,
that.
and to me it works. And you and I both know holsters are a real personal thing. That's why most of them have boxes of holsters somewhere.
Yeah.
Other thing, as we change, lifestyle changes, one of the things we've discussed is, I love leather holsters, but those darn belts shrink with age. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
But the point is, sometimes where we wear them and access to them, we do have to make some tweaks on what we want in the holster. But it's interesting. Your pick for every day reflects the evolution of where your businesses went and what your needs are.
Yeah.
And I tell people, your lifestyle will dictate what you need for a carry gun. I mean, I know people say, well, I have to have a little pocket rocket and it's got to be concealed because it could affect my job. I could get fired if they knew I had a gun in my possession. So people have to make certain compromises. My big belief is, and I think you and I would agree on this, and probably a topic in itself, no matter what you do, if you can't shoot the gun well, you're just kidding yourself.
Yeah, you don't need to be carrying.
Yeah. And in many ways, that's a great compromise between compact and real shootable. And in my case, I live, as you can see, a pretty remote area. I don't, this is an open carry state. I could walk around with the gun on in the open all the time. I don't. When I leave my own place, I cover it up. But I get by with a gun like this, shoot it well, like it, and like I say, next time we meet, I may have another one in my holster, something else.
Yeah. Well, folks, hope you enjoyed the episode. Be sure and hit that subscribe button. And we'd like to hear your comments, especially if you have any comments on what you'd like future episodes to be. And you take care and spend lots of time on the range.